You got one of those cameras that does everything. I'll let you do the.
I got it. This is Rockin' with J-Man. This is with Joseph's Whip. So how you doing, man?
I'm doing fine, thank you. How you doing?
I'm doing great. It's first day at Comic-Con. It's going well so far.
This is called Frightmare on the Falls. I think Niagara Falls, beautiful place. First time I've ever seen Niagara Falls.
Joseph, you became a horror icon as Sheriff Bristol in A Nightmare on Elm Street. How did that role come about?
Well, I hate to correct you, but it's Sheriff Burke in Nightmare on Elm Street. I'll tell you before that though. Oh wait a minute, no, I was Sergeant Parker in Nightmare on Elm Street. Uh, I'm even getting confused. Sergeant Parker, Nightmare on Elm Street was a very interesting situation. I had just come down to LA. It was 1984. I'd been there for a while. They actually had me to come in and read for the sheriff part, the John Saxon part. But then the producers told them that they needed a name, and Joseph Whippp wasn't a big enough name. So they got John Saxon, but they liked my audition enough so that they just let me play that part. And I'm ever grateful to Wes Craven and the producers to be part of that.
What was it like working with Wes Craven, experiencing the early '80s horror scene firsthand?
Uh, he was the most horrific person that you can imagine. A very mild mannered, gentle, never raised his voice, never got angry. Oh, I talked to Lee Waddell, who was a stuntman and who did the original Ghostface stunts in Scream, actually, and he'd worked with him from 1984 all the way to 2020 and beyond. And said he knew when he was getting mad, but he never showed it. He was always even tempered. And I worked with him on that. I worked with him on a little movie called Chiller, and a episode of Twilight Zone that they were trying to make. So he was a great, wonderful, sweet man.
Did you grow up as a horror fan, or did the genre find you through acting?
Well, when I was a kid, the horror movies were the early Frankenstein, Dracula. I liked all of those, and then they had things like there was a period where the horror genre was kind of mixed up with the bomb. Everybody was afraid of the bomb, so they had things like the Thing and uh, a bunch of stuff. But this found me. This was a job, an audition, and as I said, very happy that I had the audition. Very happy that I was in it. And what's found me is these conventions, and the fan base is extremely wonderful. Very, very focused, and I'm glad they're here.
Looking back, which early horror role had the biggest impact on your career directly?
On my career directly,
Yeah.
I can't really. I don't know. The movie that had a correct on my personality directly was a movie called The Wild Ones with Marlon Brando and Lee Marvin. It's a motorcycle movie. And I thought as a teenager, that's sort of what I wanted to be. I do remember as a teenager also, though, be having pictures of as well as Natalie Wood and other stars of the year, Paul Newman and Marlon Brando and James Dean. And so I always sort of wanted to be an actor. I always did little shows and skits in school. So it was sort of preordained that I would fall into this business. I was also a high school drama coach for about 16 years before I left that and came down to Los Angeles.
What's your favorite behind the scenes memory from set on Nightmare on Elm Street?
My famous behind the scene was sitting in a makeup trailer with Robert Englund. He was getting made up as Freddy Krueger. And he made the comment that he was in two movies. He was in like a series called V, I think it was, and he was an alien of some kind. So his face was made up. And then he says, I've been in two movies that most people will see, and nobody knows what I look like. People got to know what he looked like after that, that's for sure.
Now, you've played law enforcement figures and everyday men caught in terror. What's your approach to making these roles feel like real life?
Just believe the situation. I just put myself in. The homework has to do with who are they, and actually more. who am I in relation to them? I'm not pretending to be anybody. I say to myself, I am Sheriff Burke, and I am doing this, and I'm uh, this guy's girl's mother was killed a year ago, and this is happening in my town. So it's that I just put myself into the situation and use my imagination.
Were there any particularly challenging scenes in your horror films that pushed you physically or emotionally?
Not that I can think of in the. Oh, okay. The one that pushed me the most physically was the smoking scene in Scream when David and Dewey and Sheriff Burke are talking together, and I'm smoking a cigarette. Well, you don't just shoot it. You do it about 15 times. So I had all kinds of different cigarettes and kind of lighting them so they'd match the same way and inhaling. And lo and behold, I was sicker than a dog after that. Told Wes Craven that he was like my father, making me smoke till I was sick so I wouldn't smoke no more.
What's the most fun or unexpected moment that you have ever had on a horror set?
Oh, Jesus. You ask tough questions. I think uh, getting the job. Just getting the job particularly in Scream, because people knew that it was had a sense that they didn't know it was going to go for as many episodes, but they knew it was going to be a pretty interesting movie. There was a lot of buzz about the script. There was a lot of buzz about the cast, and so that surprised me getting the job. Yeah,
If you could reprise any of your classic horror movies today, which would it be and why?
I like a chance to do. No, you know what? I I'm happy with the way they were. I don't look back and say, oh, I wish I could have done this or I wish I could have done that. Uh, well, that's different. That's a whole different thing. Yeah, Sheriff Burke is returning in Scream 59. Takes place in an old folks' home. And nobody knows who the killer is because nobody cares about old people dying. That's my take on it.
How do you approach horror differently from other genres, particularly when dealing with suspense or terror?
You just pretend the situation, put yourself into the situation. I did another so was I guess it would be called a horror movie, Death Spa, in which I get my hand blown off and other things. And uh, but it's all the same. You can't say I'm going to try to be more scary or I'm going to try to be. You just have to kind of deal with the situation and make it as real as possible for you and the people around you.
Many of your characters face extreme stress. How do you prepare to portray that authentically?
But the same thing. You live the experience as much as possible. When you're through with it, you forget it. But uh, let's see. I'm trying to think of something in which I could have prepared better for this. But anyway, I don't know. I don't know. What was the question?
Many of your characters face extreme stress. How do you prepare to portray that
No,
authentically?
I said just put yourself into the situation and see what happens at the time. Make it as real as possible. Where are you? What are you doing? Where did you come from? What's going to happen next? And then play that out.
Any advice for actors looking to create memorable horror characters without relying on over the top reactions?
Do not try to create anything. Let it be created. Don't try. Just put yourself in the situation and make it as real as possible. Believe it. Uh, yeah, don't try to make it horrible. Don't try because that's sort of the kiss of death.
How do you reflect on your legacy in the horror genre today?
I am thrilled. I'm thrilled that so many people come to these shows and come up and have such interesting memories. Some of them, somebody said, we watched this as a family. The family watched these movies together, and it reminded them of our father. Other people my daughter-in-law said to this day, because of Nightmare on Elm Street, if she goes into a hotel room, she has to check under the bed. So uh, just that, oh, that you get that from this. These people are. It's very humbling, overwhelming.
What memorable fan interaction that stands out from your horror career?
Fan interaction. The guy that came knocking at my door in my condominium, and I thought he was get a process server or something. And he brought his 12-year-old girl, his daughter, with him so that I wouldn't get mad at him. He came into the condo when somebody brought the gate up. He walked in, knocked on the door Sunday afternoon, and is Joseph Whipp here? I didn't know what the heck he was doing. So that's I can't say that that's my favorite, but that's the most memorable.
Outside of acting, what hobbies or passions keep you balanced?
Oh, I'm really off balance these days. I'm so off balance. I was a runner in my 40s. I ran 15 marathons. I was constantly running. My feet show it now because they're hard to walk around. I'm part of the time in a wheelchair. I could walk, but that's easier. It's faster for everybody if they put me in a wheelchair. Uh, and just enjoying life. We travel a bit and we laugh a lot, and that's about as balanced as I can get
Looking back, what's the proudest moment of your career in horror?
in horror. Again, that's something I'll wake up in the middle of the night tonight thinking, that was the moment. But I think being cast in Scream after working with Wes and all of the people that I knew auditioned for the part of Sheriff Burke, and that I ended up getting it. Uh, I think that's it.
If you were on death row, what would your final meal be?
My final meal?
Yeah.
Hmm. Cheeseburger, cheeseburger, cheeseburger. I think that's probably cheeseburger, milkshake, and fries.
Do you ever get used to being a celebrity?
I am not a celebrity. My wife says I'm a celebrity. I am lucky. I'm a working actor. I've done 115 movies. Some of them have been parts as short as here, the phone's for you. Others have been guest star roles on Cheers and Golden Girls, and even starred in a low budget uh, movie called Amazons. It was a lot of Carmen movie shot in Argentina. But I'm happy to be working, and I'm happy to look over all the things that I've done and be proud of them, and more proud that people come to these things and say they still remember them and they're still part of their life.
What was your first major purchase?
My first major purchase, boy, uh, might have been a car. I don't think so though. My first major purchase. Oh, okay. It was a car, and it was uh, a Honda Datsun 260. 280, 280. The 60s were above the 280Z. That was my first real own purchase. It was untouched by human hands, and it was a great car.
All right, thank you so much for being on my show. It's been my pleasure.
My pleasure. Oh, I'll stick with you. Thank you very much.
All right, thank you.
Thank you.